Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B-Live, the Money Man, Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddie Cool. And without any further ado, here they are, the Sports Bros. What's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddie Cool, a.k.a. the H.O.C, the head of creative, here at the Sports Bros Podcast. And, episode 28 of the Sports Bros Podcast is up and running. I'm jacked up off that Folgers coffee, because the best part of waking up is some good old Sports Bros in your cup. And, of course, I got the bros with me. It wouldn't be the Sports Bros without the bros. Introducing first, the Almighty B-Live.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you just say the best part of waking up is the Sports Bros in your cup?
Oh, you know it, baby.
That was absolutely amazing. I love the way that we started this. I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
No.
Yeah. By the way, this be your boy, the Almighty B Live, 1/3 of the Sports Bros podcast. Folgers. Let's work out a deal with that, because that was amazing. And let me go ahead and apologize to the listeners real quick. So I broke my own record. Because we usually track it. We usually track about how much time it takes before #all roads lead to Dabo. Are we able to put a negative time on that? Because before we started the show, I guess I love my Clemson Tigers so much that we didn't even start the show, and I had to talk about them. But, I digress.
Minute 45 minutes.
#all roads lead to Dabo. Scottie D, is he the other part of this team we got going on? You can talk to him real quick. All right.
Batting 1,000% in the I am right, and I'll tell you why department is the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hello, boys. Isn't it a great time to be alive here? The Red Sox have been eliminated. Baseball season's coming to a head here. Cowboys are 3-0. It is a beautiful time to be alive. And to quote, yes, sir.
Wow. So, who have the Cowboys played?
They played Charlotte. Oh, no, wait a minute. That was Clemson.
Jesus, here.
Oh, boy, here we go. Early.
I'm so sick of it. We already played Texas A&M. We can't help that Syracuse decided to lose by 43 to Maryland. That's not our fault. And everybody has played a FCS team. Sorry. Why is it now so bad that Clemson played?
Oh, wow. Very defensive right off the top of the show.
But because
I blew right back up at you.
I get so tired of hearing this. My God.
It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show.
Nobody bats an eye when Alabama plays the University of Alabama, Birmingham, this side of the road, Double Rock. Missionary Baptist Church of God in Christ. Like, nobody bats an eye, but when Clemson does it, I lied, because people talk about Alabama's schedule too, but because Alabama won't play anybody on the road. Sorry, Uncle Max, but it's true. But I digress. We go.
I'm trying to think, who have they played on the? I don't even remember, but we'll figure out when we get to the college football section of the show. But right now, we're going to talk about week 3 of the NFL news and notes. Man, fellas, was this a loaded week or what? It all started on Thursday night as the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Titans. And then we got some more games that's noteworthy of speaking. Let's see. We got the Lions defeating the Eagles. Then we have the Colts defeating the Falcons. My God, they're just falling apart. Carolina and Kyle Allen. That's right. It's the first win of the season, 38-20 against the Arizona Cardinals. A Drew Breesless Saints defeat the Seattle Seahawks 33-27. And then the Sunday night tilt, the Rams defeat the Browns 20-13, staving off a late fourth quarter comeback by the Browns, only for Baker Mayfield to throw a interception, a duck, a user pick. Usher, baby. Give me that. Be like, you know what I'm talking about. All right, and some more games that we didn't talk about that we get a little bit deeper into detail. A matchup of the future of the NFL, the Gunslingers, Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson, a.k.a. the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Scottie D, what's your thoughts on that game?
That game was kind of a shootout there, huh? It was nice. It was a good feature game. It was a game that wasn't lopsided, and that was pretty much billed as the game of the week. I think it became obvious that Lamar Jackson, as good as he is not quite ready yet to beat Patrick Mahomes or to take the mantle as the next great quarterback. It's Mahomes, man. That cat is out of sight. Yeah, he had the home field advantage, but I just kind of noticed, and I didn't watch this game as intently as I did, or as I would like to have, because the boys were on. I was watching the Cowboys-Dolphins, but because that game got sloppy in the second half, I was keeping my eye on it. But anyway, from what I was seeing, Lamar Jackson still looks like he might have a little bit of problem when you keep him bottled up into the pocket. Whenever you're making him just a pocket passer, I was seeing some passes that seemed to be flying a little high, a little off the mark. Man, he made one pass. He just threw it up, and his boy went up and got it for him. So that was just a real athletic play by one of his receivers, which I can't remember who it was that made that play. But Patrick Mahomes, to me, looks like the polished product. I mean, both these guys are really only in their second year of starting, and Mahomes just looks light years ahead of Lamar Jackson, and actually light years ahead of everybody from what I'm seeing. So I'm starting to be a believer in the Chiefs, man. I was concerned about them coming into the season with some of the off-field stuff they had last year, and I'm never a big Andy Reid believer, but it looks like he's just letting Patrick Mahomes just take control, and that's going to bode well for the Chiefs this year, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. You got guys like Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman stepping up, and the Robinson kid. I can't think of his name, but Robinson, he made some big plays too, and you almost kind of look around like they're still doing this without Tyreek Hill. It almost makes you kind of wonder, but in words of the Almighty Be Live, it's only week 3, and now I digress. I won't look too deep into it. Be Live, what you got?
Scottie D said it was a shootout. If you say, I guess
no, not really a shootout. It was a high scoring game, and it wasn't. The score looked closer really than it was because Kansas City was pretty much in control, but it wasn't really a shoot. It wasn't like much a back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
I wanted to clarify that because you're basically saying this shootout. I guess the shootout is the United States Navy going against Somalia's Navy. I mean, that's
oh boy.
Yeah.
No,
we got the bigger guns.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, I say that in tongue in cheek. Lamar Jackson, he is a highlight reel. What he is able to do, he is this generation's Michael Vick. I'm going to put it out there. He definitely has the ability. He's like, he makes the defensive coordinator shake a little bit, especially when he gets out of the pocket, because he is definitely. Oh my God! Wait a minute. I'm sorry, fellas. Hold up 1 second. I sort of threw up in my mouth.
What?
What the hell?
Because I was giving Lamar Jackson compliments because I don't like him. Because he shouldn't have won the Heisman that year. It should have been Deshaun Watson.
Oh boy, here we go.
Wow.
What kind of grapes are these, Scott? What kind of grapes are these?
I'm about to sour grapes myself. Come on.
Sour grape Sunday.
You're holding you're mad at an NFL player for some stuff that happened in college. Come on, man.
Oh, well, shoot, the same thing can go for Jameis Winston. I couldn't stand him when he was at Florida State, but I digress. Patrick Mahomes is next tier, next level, because there is no sophomore slump with this guy. And it's unreal. Like, they literally is almost plug and play when it comes to their wide receivers. Names you haven't heard of, they're just speedsters, and he's able to drop the ball on a dime to these guys. Unreal throws that no other quarterback even thinks about attempting. Like, off his back foot on the run, sidearm 40 yards down the field. Who does that stuff? Patrick Mahomes, back-to-back MVP? I don't know.
He's the Steph Curry of the NFL.
Man, it's incredible. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch, especially because I have him on one of my fantasy teams. And I have him and LaShawn McCoy. So that was a nice little double dip that I like, but I keeps it moving. All right, Eddie Cool, Amtrak, you already know.
Amtrak's back on it, but as you guys said, each quarterback gives you gives defensive coordinators nightmares and gives their respective teams a chance to win anytime they step on the field. Because there was a comment made by one of the analysts yesterday. They're kind of playground / schoolyard type of quarterbacks, but I mean. Hey, it's just a classic versus, being able to think on your feet and make things happen. And just like you said, Kansas City has those plug-and-play wide receivers. And if they get that running game together, they'll be good to go. And Baltimore did establish the run yesterday. Mark Ingram had a big game, big game, hell of a game. And that's good for him because he is on one of my fantasy football teams as well, too. So this will be the first and definitely not the last matchup between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, here we go. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cincinnati Bengals, all right?
3-0, Buffalo.
Yes, Buffalo, they are 3-0 in the same division as the New England Patriots. Undefeated.
The Bills?
Like what? Yes, the Bills.
So you mentioned a point about the Bills and the Patriots being undefeated. I'm going to say this loud for all the people in the back when it comes to the New England Patriots. The three teams that the Patriots have faced this year, let me read them off to you. The New York Jets, joke. The Pittsburgh Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger, joke.
No, he played in that game.
Oh, he was
against them. I thought he got hurt that game.
Nah.
No. That was last week's game. But he was there, not doing much.
He was there in spirit too. He was there.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'll give him a little
because he damn sure went on the field.
I'll take that back. Still, they're a joke because guess what? The three teams that the Patriots have faced this year are all 0-3. All three of them are. So they're a shell of their former selves. You know, there's a team that I'm not even mentioning because they're about to be relegated to the FCS because they don't even deserve to be an NFL team at this point in time.
You're talking about the Dolphins.
Sorry,
Rodney. Sorry, Cliff.
But you already know. So, am I? Maybe I'm selling the Patriots a little bit short just because of the Patriots and I don't like them. But
yeah, that's exactly why. Because
that's what it is.
The Bills' opponents have a combined 1 win, also, and I think they play each other next week. So
we'll see.
We'll be back down to earth next week.
But,
yeah.
But do the Patriots and the Chiefs play each other at some point in time this year?
I believe they do later in the season.
Because that will be the premier marquee game if that happens. Because literally, I don't like. I'm looking at the AFC right now, and I don't see another team that just is like out. This looks good. Period. I see the Patriots. Yeah. I see the Chiefs, and that's about it.
All right. To answer that question, Week 14, It'll be a 4:25 game. If I was smart money, I'd go ahead and make that the Sunday night
Right.
game.
That'll probably get that'll get flex.
Flex schedule.
That absolutely has to be flex. That's gotta be a night game. But yeah, like literally just look, instant analysis of the AFC right now.
It looks like a 2-horse race. It really does.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. As I think as the season progresses, I mean, we kind of have an idea now, but as the season progresses, with the Steelers being out of the picture, and then just kind of insert anybody here, I'm kind of with you guys. It kind of don't make a damn bit of difference because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to the Patriots and the Chiefs. I mean, that Patriots and the defense. I mean, I think it's the first time in a long time that the Patriots has had that defense to complement that offense.
I think the Patriots have allowed in 3 games. They've allowed 17 points.
17 whole.
They've outscored their opponents 106-17, if I'm not mistaken. Unreal. It's like, okay, is anybody going to show up to play them, or they showed up and the Patriots are that much better? But I was just looking at the records of their opponents right now, and it's like they don't have too much to challenge them. But at the same note, I don't see a team on paper right now that can even challenge the Patriots in the AFC. NFC, I don't know, different story. Like I really right now, the NFL is so upside down right now. Like the Eagles are 1-2. The 49ers are 3-0. Who would have thunk it, man? Jimmy G with his magic. Maybe he's back doing what he does. Like, I don't know. There's a lot going on.
And even though the Lions have a tie, they're technically undefeated.
No, see, let me stop you right there real quick, because I'm upset because I was in a survivor pool and I picked the Lions the first week and they tied. They didn't lose, so they survived. So I should have been able to survive, but because of the rules, they didn't win, so I didn't survive, and I lost $10.
Well, that's what you get for picking the Lions.
They were going against the Cardinals.
Okay, but they didn't win.
He thought it was a gimmick.
I thought it was
a gimmick.
Come on.
A whole gimmick.
I don't believe in Kyler Murray. I really don't. But, I mean...
Yet you believed in the Lions.
I didn't want to waste, week 1. Yeah, you know how I think. I'm crazy as hell.
Yeah.
I digress.
Evidently, because you picked the Lions. And you could have picked anybody in the league.
Yeah, I could have picked anybody. I know. Whatever. Shut up.
Hey, it bees like that. It bees that way sometimes. And speaking of it bees that way sometimes, these here Pittsburgh Steelers fall to 0-3. Like, I know it's 3 weeks into the season, fellas, but are the Steelers in trouble, or are they in trouble?
Let's see.
I'm gonna say yes. You rely on Big Ben all these years whenever you have some warts to cover things up, and he gets the job done for you. He's gone now. Not that Mason Rudolph played a bad game on Sunday, but all of a sudden everything is different with them. When just 2 years ago it's Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and now it's Mason Rudolph, Juju Smith-Schuster, who is starting to look a little bit more like a number 2 than a true number 1. And James Conner, who's also starting to look a little bit like a backup than carry the load kind of running back. And I think the Steelers have a little bit of problems here. Now, at the same time, they're in the division with Cincinnati, who's winless, Cleveland, who dropped to 1-2, and the Ravens, who dropped the game. So it's not like they're that far out of it just yet. It just looks like they're heading in the wrong direction, if you ask me.
Dude. Scottie D, are we watching the same brand of football? The Steelers are done. Call FEMA.
Ooh, wow. FEMA reference.
I just said they're pretty much in bad trouble, and that's what you do when you call FEMA when you're in trouble. So,
You said that there.
Hey, wait a minute. He didn't say trouble. He said that's what you call when you're in bad trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Catastrophic.
And then when you call FEMA, it'll take them 6 months to respond. Oh, my bad.
Oh boy. You know what? 3 days later.
But,
Help
right.
us.
So, but nah, the Steelers. It's just unfortunate. Now, my question to you fellas is this: does Tomlin keep his job after this? Is he able to does he get a bye for this year with Roethlisberger being out for the season?
I think that,
or was he part of that whole locker room situation with Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell?
I just believe that's a two-parter there. With that whole first situation about Brown and Bell, I think Tomlin could have been a little bit more hands-on and a little bit more proactive to alleviate the situation since you are the coach and that is your team, these are your guys. You need them on the same page, on the same game plan in order for you to be successful. But, you got one guy wanting a big contract, knowing that the organization does not give out big money contracts, then you made a decision to move on without him. All right, good. So you still have Antonio Brown. At the end of last season, Antonio Brown, he wants a big money contract, and in typical Pittsburgh fashion, they're not paying out no big money contracts. And then the kerfluffle that happened during the offseason and during the season with Antonio Brown throwing Big Ben under the bus and doing this and doing that, becoming a distraction. So you somehow were able to move on past that and get him up out of there and get Bell up out of there. You kill two birds with one stone. You come into the season with some expectations to make some adjustments, but now you're at a point where you lose your starting quarterback to a elbow injury for the season, and you got to plug in Mason Rudolph to throw the ball to Juju, throw the ball to James Washington Jr., and then James Conner over here not looking like the guy he was last year. Now, I know it's early and it's 3 games into the season, but I think Tomlin's job depends on what he can do moving on from this 0-3 hole. Because if it gets to a point where they're like 0-5, 0-6, he's good as gone, baby.
Well, here's the thing. I grew up in that area, and in my lifetime, which is mid-40s, we'll say, without being specific, in my lifetime, the Steelers have had 3 coaches. So it is not the philosophy of the Rooney family to go through coach after coach after coach. They hang in there with their guys.
Yeah, that's true. They do. I mean, when it comes to loyalty, they
do, and they're all for the stability. And Tomlin, he's a no nonsense guy. He's a stand up guy, and I know that he wasn't very fond of the whole AB situation last year, and he for the most part kind of held it together with the team. I think as far as that particular situation went, he did the best he could with that. I mean, obviously that's a tough situation because Gruden, Belichick also had problems with it. But as far as getting by that, as far as just this season goes, the fans are really on him. It's been louder and louder each year of people that are wanting to see the Steelers make a change. And this would be the time to do it. If, you're truly in a transition where you're going to be going with a new quarterback for the future, and it just might be time to make that change all the way. I would not be surprised if this is Tomlin's last year if they don't right the ship. And that's going to be a tall task, as we were, kind of already alluded to. If Tomlin can somehow, make magic, get into the playoff situation, win a playoff game, there's a good chance he comes back. But that looks like a stretch to me right now for the Steelers to be able to do that. So I think there is a good chance, to answer your question, B-Live, that this could be the end of Tomlin this season. I think the fans are going to put the pressure on the organization to make that change. Now, over on the baseball stadium, I don't know.
Oh, boy, here we go.
I'll get to that a little bit later. Let's move on from that. I got something to say there, too. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't noticed that Scott is calling for people's heads in Pittsburgh.
Been calling for
Clint Hurdle And also, just want to let everybody know, this portion of the show by Scottie D has been sponsored by AARP. For
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, Be Live.
My bad. I had to do it. I'm sorry. My bad. I know. I'm just wrong.
I heard you back there cooking, Be Live. I'm like, I said, Scott don't realize it, but he about to get it. Oh, Be Live about to get it.
I might be a little bit older than you guys, but just remember how lucky you are to have it. Keep that in mind going forward.
Tell him Scottie D is seasoned. But let's talk about this youth movement at quarterback in the NFL. As the money man Scottie D alluded to last week, the older guard, they're starting to get a little bit nicked up, banged up, bruised. They're starting to look vulnerable because there's a point in time where they were looking invincible. But now the age is father time is slowly reaching around the corner unless you're Tom Brady and eating avocado yogurt and stuff like that and avocado ice cream. And I think he sold his soul to the devil for a small price.
I'm pretty sure. Absolutely.
He had to. Just like a few weeks ago, I see looking at him in a press conference. I'm like, this dude, like he's 25. What the hell's going on? But anyways, out of the young quarterbacks who started this weekend, between Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, we already know how we feel about them. Let's see, you got Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville, Kyle Allen doing some things, big things in Carolina, and what's the other rookie quarterback? And you got Kyler Murray looking good too.
Daniel Jones.
Have a new, yes, Danny Dimes, baby, Danny Dimes. You got Daniel Jones in New York. I watch highlights of it, and I'm like, they look alive. They look excited. So what do you fellas feel about this youth movement at quarterback?
I'm going to tell you, I think this week will be one we may go circle on the calendar in the future and look back as a big transition week. You look at the replacements for Cam Newton, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, and they went 3-1 this week. And Rudolph didn't play terrible against San Francisco. That's a tough road game to start off with. But Kyle Allen gets a big win for Carolina. They really needed that shot in the arm.
Yes.
Yeah. Congrats to the Panthers for that win. Daniel Jones, he led a comeback and got the Giants off the schneid. That gives them something to be excited about. Granted, Tampa Bay probably should have won that game with a 34-yard missed field goal.
Right.
They had their chances, but that doesn't take away what Daniel Jones did when he got the ball and a chance to win the game for the Giants. So give him a thumbs up for that. The one that, to me, even though he's not really inexperienced, is Teddy Bridgewater in resurrecting the Saints down there. Bridgewater didn't really have huge numbers. Alvin Kamara kind of went off in that game a little bit. But didn't you get the feeling that the Saints, losing Drew Brees, were going to have a really hard time going up there and beating Seattle? And they put 33 on the board. I mean, these guys bought into Teddy Bridgewater as the guy stepping in there. And all of a sudden, Saints seem like they're back in contention. I know it's only after one game, but that's a big road win at Seattle. And Teddy Bridgewater could be a bigger story of the week than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, because, that's, like you say, to go to the Pacific Northwest and get that win and to do it without Drew Brees, that speaks a lot about the team. Be like, what you think about it?
Well, this is yet another rare moment that the Almighty One is agreeing with Scottie D. Thank you, actually.
Market.
Yeah. Even though it's about the Saints and people know how I feel about the Saints and Seattle, why did you not win that game for us? So we all could be 1-2 in the division. But I digress. Teddy Bridgewater, I called it when the Saints picked him up that he would be the heir apparent to Drew Brees, and he definitely showed it. Yesterday. Teddy Bridgewater was lights out when he played for Minnesota. Then he had that devastating injury, like the almost career ending. So to see him back on the field doing his thing yesterday was actually, I applaud him. So I definitely agree with the Money Man's assessment of the young QBs. It was definitely it was good to see you for football overall. Seeing it was literally like almost a passing of the guard, and then there's Tom Brady. But it's like
then there's Tom Brady. Matter of fact, who's the Patriots' backup quarterback? Keep talking. I'm about to look that up right now. Hit up the Google machine for that. But like, because even the Patriots' backups have gone on to be starters, and Jimmy G at San Fran is 3-0. You know, like, so it's crazy like that. Oh, I'm sorry. And what was it? What my boy named Jacoby Brissett at the Colts. He was doing
another
good
young.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, Tom Brady and his minions are doing things in the NFL. They're spreading. Yep. It's like, what's going on?
The backup quarterback is Jarrett Stidham. Stidham.
Texans.
From Auburn.
Auburn. That's right.
Yeah. From Auburn. Yeah. So it's just that's crazy. That's crazy. And they had Brian Hoyer up until August. Yeah. Brian Hoyer made his way back to New England, but that's crazy. That is nuts. So man, I think this new guard is good. It's good to see some new fresh blood and life and energy between Baker and Gardner Minshew. I think the reason the hype is so big behind Gardner Minshew because the NFL finally has Uncle Rico.
Really?
No. They finally got Uncle Rico. They're happy and they're running with it.
Let me talk about this real quick. ESPN. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell our listeners out there. A majority of the stuff, the material that I get, comes from ESPN. It's the worldwide leader in sports. But for the love of humanity, I do not need to know that Gardner Minshew works out in only a jockstrap. That's literally something I don't need to know. I get it. He's the mustache and the cut off jean shorts. Like, okay.
Wow, I didn't know that, but thanks for that visual there, B-Live. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Jockstrap and fluffy stash. I didn't have any idea that was going on. I missed that segment.
I'm like, they were just showing random facts about Gardner Minshew. I'm like, works out only in a jockstrap. What about the other 52 guys on the team? Oh, y'all just gonna let him do that. His butt cheeks gonna be out for no reason. Yeah, y'all just.
He gonna be walking around bucket naked.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I mean, you know what? I believe it alone.
Put some damn shorts on. Put some drawers on your ass. Wash your ass.
Good for Gardner Minshew. God, the city of Jacksonville needs something. And then maybe like what that boy named the Jalen Ramsey. Maybe he'll stick around because they asking for 2 first-round draft picks for one player, and I just said I'm still trying to figure out what team has lost their mind.
A mule, a donkey, and about 3 acres of land.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
In a pear tree. All right, that's it for the Week 3 NFL news and notes. Went a little long, but it's great. All right, and moving on to Week 4 in college football. Fellas, when looking at the schedule, there's a whole lot of cupcake games. I.e. Clemson versus Charlotte. Charlotte, thanks for playing. Take this check.
Why was my team had to be the first with the cupcakes? I mean,
low hanging fruit. Easy to pick.
Alabama plays Southern Miss. I mean, you gonna say anything about that?
Another it was Cupcake Week. All right, I thought you were supposed to get this out of the way the first 2 weeks of the season, but I was wrong.
No, Clemson plays tough at the beginning, Cupcake in the middle, tough at the end. I don't know who's tough at the end right now, but that's not Clemson's fault. I'm gonna say this again. We can't help that Florida State stinks up the place. That North Carolina doesn't know which North Carolina they want to be. They beat South Carolina, but then lose to App State. Like, I can't help that.
And trying to figure out their conference identity by beating a not beating a conference opponent in a non-conference game.
Wake Forest is undefeated. I don't who knows, but
Yeah.
College football they actually had 3 meaningful games. It might not seem that way because in one of those games, Wisconsin beat the brakes off of Michigan. That was supposed to be a top 15 matchup.
B-Dot, don't you have a hot take about that right now?
Can I go ahead and do it? Can I go ahead and hit the hot take on that?
Bust him up.
Jim Harbaugh needs to be fired. I have never met a coach in my entire life that is all hype. All he's done is I guess he recruits well because every year they're in Australia or Italy or some other mess that ESPN wants to cover and follow them with cameras. And then when they get on the field, absolutely nothing. Their offense is abysmal. Their defense is overhyped. Are you kidding me? Wisconsin, no, you know what? I apologize because I am selling short the Wisconsin Badgers. I'm selling them short. Wisconsin got that squad. They've always had an offensive line. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the game right now. But, I mean, it's easy because you have the Wisconsin Badgers are the Dallas Cowboys of NCAA because their offensive line is stout. And their defense has been unreal. Like, they finally allowed a point after 10 quarters. So, I mean, I don't want to sell Wisconsin short, but Michigan, he's got to go. He's got to go. I'm not even a Michigan fan. I like substance. I like to see the product on the field be wonderful. I don't want to hear a bunch of stories off season, preseason, et cetera, and then nothing happens. Because then what that turns into, like literally, Michigan shouldn't be ranked. They better not be ranked after that debacle. And it's just Michigan being overhyped leaves out a team that should be mentioned, but they won't get mentioned. And then they have less of a chance of getting into the playoff because they weren't getting the hype that they should have been. But guess what? Michigan's here. But that's my hot take. And Jim Harbaugh, you got to get rid of him. He's done nothing. He's done nothing but lose big games. He's not won one big game. I think he's 1-6 now in road games against ranked opponents. 1-6.
Yeah, he better beat Ohio State this year if he wants to stick around.
I was just about to say that if Jim Harbaugh wants his job, if one win that means the most the rest of the season, it got to be against Ohio State. Because if you lose against Ohio State, goodbye, sayonara, arrivederci.
Yeah, he's going to have to win out, including that game.
Huh?
He's going to have to win out the rest of the season, including that game.
You got to win out, man. Just like you said, be like those guys in Wisconsin. They're cornbread fed. They're tough. They're thick. They will fight you for real. Okay, they will fight you.
Another thing about Jim Harbaugh is it just me or is he starting to look more and more like Joe Pesci every season? I think he's just kind of morphing into Joe Pesci. He just looks. He doesn't look like the young stud hot coach with the swagger anymore. He just looks like Pesci to me.
With his khaki pants on. I mean, it might be time for him to bust some move. All right, and another marquee game this weekend, the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs, defeat the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame 23-17, which was a damn good game. I caught bits and pieces of it at work, but the parts I watched, the game was good. What you think, fellas?
I think Notre Dame put up a heck of a fight. I actually was impressed with them. I was expecting Georgia to knock them out of the box. Really, I thought they were going to come in there and get crushed. So kudos to Notre Dame. I mean, I know they don't feel good about it because they didn't get the win out of that game, but I thought they made it interesting. I wasn't crazy about the Brian Kelly instructing his players to fall on the field and act like they were hurt to slow down the Georgia offense, but Georgia's quarterback, what's his name? Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
Impressive guy to me. I think he's a stud, and I think he's probably going to be able to be playing on Sundays next year. Georgia looks legit to me, but to have such a challenge, and they withstood it and got out of there. Just another SEC win there.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. I'm just go ahead and Scottie D he tossed you one. He tossed you one.
But you know what? Honestly, you put it on the tee. I'm a dial it back because in the big marquee games that have happened so far this year, SEC has done their thing. So I'm gonna give them that in the marquee games. SEC again is top heavy. But their 4 best teams in the SEC will beat any 4 teams from any other conference. So I'm going to give them credit on that point because they have won those games. Now, my hot take is this. I put Georgia as the number 2 team in the country right now over Alabama. Until Alabama plays somebody. Because South Carolina does not count. I'm going to say it right now. Sorry, Eddie Cool. South Carolina is terrible. They have won. I believe they're 1-3 now. Their one game was a win against Charleston Southern. Yeah. So for anybody out there that is a South Carolina fan that has anything to say about my beloved reigning defending undisputed national championship winner, Clemson Tigers, all in bleed orange, your only win is against Charleston Southern. You get to say nothing to me for the rest of the year.
A win is a win.
Congrats on that win, by the way, Eddie Cool. Congrats on that.
A win is a win. Okay, it might not be marquee or noteworthy, but a win is a win.
And I'm gonna say on a side note about South Carolina, shame on the writer that shamed Ryan Helinski's Hope Foundation because little backstory behind that. His older brother, I believe, committed suicide, so his family started, I think it's Ryan Helinski Hope Foundation to bring up awareness about suicide. A writer, I believe, from the state newspaper wrote something about saying Helinski's hopes faded. It was just a horrible storyline. I get it that they lost the game, but to tie his foundation to the bring up awareness with suicide is horrible.
Classless.
So I want to mention that real quick, and because I'm way above that. Football is one thing, rivalries is one thing, but life is much bigger than sports, and so I definitely want to mention that.
B-Live, that's some very interesting points, man. Yeah, these writers, they should know better than that, man. I mean, especially when something like that's so close to home, and you just there's some things as a writer you got to stay away from. And I'm just hoping that his intentions were well and trying to put that storyline together. But come on, dude, you dumbass, you got to be aware of what's going on. You got to be aware of what's going on, man. Words matter. Scottie D would like to opine about the upset. Upset alert that happened this weekend as his Pittsburgh Panthers defeated the University of Central Florida. Scottie D, talk about it.
Here's a good one for the ACC. How about the Pitt Panthers?
Pat Narduzzi and them.
Yeah, man. UCF went down. They had a pretty impressive streak going against the bigger opponents, and here's what I don't understand. A week ago, Pitt's on the goal line and can't score against Penn State, and this week they run Pitt special. They didn't have that thought run through their head last week against Penn State. Why would you save that play? Unless they just installed it this week. I'm upset with myself that I missed it because when I saw that Pitt was leading at the half, I think it was 21-10, every time they showed us – I was out to dinner, by the way. Every time they showed a score on the screen, UCF scored again. So I thought, well, here we go, same old Pitt. And then I come home and catch the end of the game, and they get the big win. So Yeah, that was nice to see the Pitt Panthers get off the schneid and get a big win for our ACC. Be live.
Yeah, so Pitt upsets the University of Central Florida, who feel that, hey, look, we want to be taken seriously too. Well, you just got beat by the Pittsburgh Panthers. And just like Scottie D said, another win for the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, who debuted a network, I think it was last month, by the way. Some nice, interesting content on there too. And then on the west side, there was a shootout. Not involving the Bloods and the Crips.
Oh, wow. Because,
But
I mean, you do understand there's no more Bloods because Tekashi 6ix9ine and ratted them all out. My bad.
That's another conversation for another day. He might as, you know what? I'm not going to go there. Anyways, it didn't involve the Blood and the Crips, nor Tekashi 6ix9ine. It involved the UCLA Bruins and the Washington State Cougars with the college basketball score of 67-63 in favor of the UCLA Bruins. So, fellas, the defense just took the night off, right?
Completely. Like, what was it? Washington State's quarterback had 9 touchdown throws?
9 touchdowns and lost the game. Can you imagine that? You throw 9 touchdowns and don't win? That's like arena football kind of stuff.
Right.
I'll just say this real quick, but I was watching that game, and I had to go to bed because Doris Burke was doing the play-by-play that night.
Oh, boy.
Or whoever it was, it sounded just like Doris Burke. But I went to bed satisfied
I think it was Beth Mowins.
was going to win that thing. What's her name? Beth Mowins? Yeah.
Beth Mowins,
Beth Mowins / Doris Burke. I don't know why ESPN force feeds us those crappy announcers. But, I went to bed thinking Wazoo had that in control. I was late Saturday night. I was tired. I'm sorry I missed that one. I couldn't believe it when I woke up and saw that quarterback had thrown for 9 touchdowns and lost the game. Unbelievable.
Unreal. Just to throw the stat line because this has to be said. Let me see if I can get his first name. Anthony Gordon. 41 completions, 61 attempts. 570 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a QB rating of 84.3. Like,
and that's a loss. That's unbelievable.
And that's a loss.
Yeah, and that's a loss. And their running back, he had 15 carries for 123 yards, and their leading wide receiver had 10 receptions for 114 yards. And he caught 4 of the 9 touchdowns.
In a loss.
That's just one of those crazy things you only see in college football.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that game of the pros between Green Bay and Matt Stafford, where the defense just took there's like, well, we're not going to play. And it was Matt Flynn, the OG finesser, the ultimate finesser himself, when it comes to getting contract money. It was him and Matt Stafford. They just threw the ball all over the place. And I think Flynn threw for like 5 touchdowns, 525 yards or some riffraff like that. And then he wound up getting a contract with Seattle, only to get beat out by some guy named Russell Wilson. But in the words of the Almighty Be Live, I digress. But yeah, this was I thought when I saw the score on the ticker, I was like, oh, it's college basketball already, the Maui Invitational? No, this is a football game.
Wow. Back and forth in that second half. UCLA was down by 32 points, mind you. They were down by 32 points and came back. Unbelievable. Man, oh, man. So that's one thing I do love about college football, though, because you get those type of crazy things happening, and it's just it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Oh,
yes, yeah, man. It is a wonderful thing, man. I'm over like watching the highlights now. It's an historic comeback win, as you said. Be like they were down. Down 32. They rally in the third, and then they come back and beat and ranked Washington State University. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's one thing to see those games where it's like 72-3 or 45-5, but Then to see a game that's 63-67, a classic shootout, it was like, hey man, there was a lot of good football being played. The only good thing wasn't being played was some damn defense. It was being played with some doggone defense.
And guess what? Pac-12, you're not making the playoffs this year.
Not making playoffs.
Like, they shot themselves in the foot again with Utah losing. Like, I think every team in the Pac-12 has a loss already, with the exception of, I think, maybe Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado beating everybody. Colorado's beating everybody. They beating everybody.
Yeah, Arizona State lost this week. So, yeah, Pac-12 already shot themselves in the foot. So, yeah, once again, they're going to miss the playoff unless something astronomical happens, and I don't see it. Probably SEC is going to get 2 teams in. Like, it's already looking that way, maybe.
Yeah. It's starting to look like that. All right, we're going to put a button on week 4 of college football. That's the review and the recap.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Thank you once again to the wonderful Miss Button for introducing the choices of the voices. And she not lying. She right. You heard the woman. Like she said, it's our favorite portion of the show. The choices of the voices. Okay. Scottie D, what was this week's question for choices of the voices?
I asked, what is your favorite college football tradition? What do you like the best? And what is your least favorite college football tradition? We didn't get a ton of response this week. I guess everyone's all geared up on the NFL right now.
Yeah, they probably jacked up off Antonio Brown and his situation and the young quarterbacks and everything. I mean, it's enough to steal the attention. It is enough to steal the attention. Well, right now we just want to give a big shout out to Uncle Max for coming through like you usually do on choices of the voices. And Uncle Max stated, the Army-Navy game again. He said, from the march onto the prisoner exchange to the honor of the fallen, there's no greater tradition in college football. Being there to see this would literally give me goosebumps. But the dumbest, the stupidest, most ridiculous tradition in college football is the helmet stickers for making good plays. It's like getting that little gold star on something you did in kindergarten.
Good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, it's just kind of like, hey, you made a tackle, you get a sticker. You made an interception, you get a sticker. You did this, you get.
Yeah, and it does kind of junk up the helmets a little bit too. I think
Ohio State is the worst because
they do that. Yeah,
they covers their entire helmet. I'm just like, dude, okay, congratulations, you made 5 tackles today. Here's your sticker. But I want to say one thing I definitely appreciate with Uncle Max's answer was the Army-Navy game again. I've been privy to that. Absolutely amazing, by the way. The prisoner exchange for the Army-Navy game, for those that do not know, it during the school year at the Naval Academy and at the Military Academy on West Point, you have students from the respective academies that go to the other academy for a semester. They take courses, they work alongside. Like if you go to the Naval Academy, you go to West Point and you work alongside cadets and everything. And it's peaceful for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You learn about the other branches of the military, and it's actually pretty good. Same thing goes along with the Air Force Academy as well. During the game, though, before the Army-Navy game, though, it is absolute pandemonium. And certain things I'm not even going to say on the air go on during Army-Navy week, the week before the game.
One could only imagine.
I am not going to say a word because some of it might be illegal. but it's
don't tell nobody.
But in good taste and everything, at the game though, the prisoner exchange essentially is where the cadets return to their Army mates, and the midshipmen return to their Navy mates. And so that's what the prisoner exchange consists of. And it's a tradition, and it's wonderful. They get to rejoin their classmates, and it's just a good time. Go Navy, be Army.
Scottie D, what you got?
Well, college football is rich in tradition. There's 1,000 of them out there. I like when the dog picks up the tee. That's Boise State, I think. I think that's kind of cool. But mine is the tradition that I like the most. Bear with me on this because this is a very new tradition. It's something that's going on up in Iowa called the Kinnick Wave. Have you guys seen this? The Kinnick Wave?
Yeah, where they wave at the in like a medical center on campus.
The University of Iowa Children's Hospital overlooks Kinnick Stadium. Yeah, it overlooks the stadium that Iowa plays. Yeah. And at the end of the first quarter, all the fans, the players, and the opposing players all turn and wave to the kids that are up near the top floor of that hospital. That's just one of those things to me. I think absolutely just steps away from the game for a minute and warms my heart that they do that for those kids up there. It includes them in the game, brings them in because they're not at that stadium, but yet you're looking at that sea of yellow over there, and it just brings them into the game and makes them important just for that moment. And again, it's not like a rich tradition like going back through the years. This has only been going on for a couple years, but man, I really like that. That just to me is an awesome new tradition. I hope that's something that sticks around and they do for the long term. So, bear with me on that one because it's not a rich long-standing tradition.
That's
but
perfect.
I do like that. That's just something I just think is super cool. Makes me root for Iowa. Staying in the Big Ten, the tradition I hate the most is whenever that tuba player does that high step on Ohio State's band and dots the I. Man, I want to dot his eye when I see that go on. I admit that Ohio State's band is awesome, and that really looks cool when they're out there spelling it out. But when they get to the part where you dot the I, and that tuba player does that geeky high step thing, and the guy next to him's doing it. Oh, come on with that. That's the part I don't like. Maybe because I'm not a fan of Ohio State, but I want to dot that guy's eye out there. Doing that high step and dumb dance out there to dot the eye. So that's my favorite and least favorite college tradition right there for you.
You remember when Baker did that?
Oh, Baker Mayfield. He went and planted the flag in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and when he got drafted by the Browns, and I was like, well, you better start winning. You better start winning because if you start winning, all is forgiven. Trust me. Hey, they don't forget that around these parts. They do not forget around these parts. But you know what? The state of Ohio, especially the city of Cleveland, loves Baker Mayfield. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a boyfriend or a partner relationship that did something dirty to you, but they do this one thing that really just, hey, let me just go ahead and warm this over and make everything good. And then, hey, I won you guys some games. All is well.
What was that? What was that one thing, like, if Cleveland won the first game Cleveland won, all the beer or something? What was that?
They had beer coolers across town.
They were locked up, right?
Yeah, they were locked up. You couldn't get in them. And if they won a game, somebody would hit a button, free beer.
So, yeah, that's why the state of Ohio and the city of Cleveland loves Baker Mayfield because they got drugged that night.
Whole city was tore up that night. Man. Whole city was tore up that night. Rightfully so. As far as college traditions for me, I don't have one that I don't like, but I got a new tradition in the words of Scottie D, if you will. Some people like it, some people hate it. I think it's fun and it's enthusiastic and it keeps and it boosts the team morale. The University of Miami and the turnover chain.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the University of Miami and the turnover chain. I think this year they introduced the touchdown rings. The the touchdown rings. I think he got the touchdown rings too. Yeah, the turnover chain for defense and the touchdown rings on offense.
So Miami, right? Miami Hurricanes. They have touchdown rings now. So they've passed out 2 of them in 4 weeks. All right, cool. I'm sorry.
hey, probably that's how it is. I mean, they're dying to, hey man, put them rings on. I think it's a good tradition because it gets the student athletes a chance to be hyped, relish their moment and just have fun, man. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about having fun. And like I said, I couldn't find a tradition that I didn't like the most because I'm like, is there anything that I don't like?
Oh yeah, I got one.
How about the tuba guy for Ohio State?
Scott, I live here. I need to be able to walk down the street without getting beat up. I mean, what do I look like? I look to the left. I see this fool goose stepping by me, blowing a tuba.
Yeah, you can't like your ass away from me. Nobody can like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Ohio State Ohio State. Yeah, they like some ridiculous stuff. Let me talk about a couple of traditions of mine. One that I absolutely love, and I know a lot of people hate, and I don't care. The fact that after every home win, Clemson, their fans storm the field. Not just big wins, not just rivalry wins, but after every home win, the Clemson students storm the field. I think it's just wonderful that the student body gets to run on the field and have a good time, embrace the players. It's one big family, and I love it. And
it is such a love fest. It makes me warm and fuzzy.
The amount of sarcasm that just came from.
Well, I like Clemson. I'm okay with Clemson.
In the words of the kids, it's dripping sarcasm. Drip.
Scottie D, I know you're warming up to my team, and I get it because they're doing what it do. I mean,
hashtag who.
But I tell you one tradition that I absolutely hate, and I hate to the bottom of my core. Florida State University and their frickin' marching band and their frickin' fight song. After every single play, no, not a touchdown, not a field goal, but after every single play, the band
here we go.
Playing and blaring, and I'm a marching band guy.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the same thing the Atlanta Braves do that you were just talking about how you love?
Absolutely.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
And here's the thing. The Braves do it as a rally point.
Oh, so that makes it okay. All right.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the Braves, and I hate Florida State. Yes, it makes it freaking okay.
Okay. All right.
I just want to make sure don't be questioning my motives here, sir. I see what you were trying to do with it.
Okay.
But yes, Florida State literally every time the band, I'm talking about first down, a sack, somebody spit on the ground. The band's playing that same fight song. They play it literally 183 times a game. That's not actual fact, but I wanted to extrapolate. I want to think.
Embellish.
I wanted to be known how much that song plays every time. And it's like, I refuse to put Florida State games on sound at my establishment, Max Speed Shop here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on 482 Norfolk Pearson Church Road. The best burgers and brisket in the world. Holla at your boy, yes sir.
Be like, you know what the thing about that fight song? We, like me and you being graduated from the North Myrtle Beach High School.
Yeah.
We've heard this song for damn near close to 30 years.
I played it.
And you've played it.
I was on the marching band in high school.
Yes. And we've heard the song ad nauseum. And then, like you said, you listen to a Florida State game and every sip of water, scratch of the butt, Flick of the Booger, they playing the song. Y'all ain't got nothing else to play?
Right. I don't think they play any other song. Like with my beloved Clemson Tigers, we have different songs for different things. Yes, we have our fight song. We play when we score a touchdown. We play it again at extra. And actually, they don't play it again. They continue to play it. I love the fact that we play our fight song. The band brings it down while they're kicking the extra point, and when they make the extra point, they bring it back up. Like if you listen good enough at a Clemson game, they'll play the fight song through the extra point, and they'll bring it back up, and then the whole crowd chants CLELSO. And love it. That's just it's a wonderful thing. Florida State just have another song. They literally, just something different.
Yeah, just do better. Be like Clemson. Be like Clemson. Do better.
And this week's Do Better Award goes to the marching band of the University of Florida State. Boom.
At least they don't have some clown out there dotting the I on Florida.
Oh boy, this guy got some heat with you, don't he?
That tuba player, that tuba player is some 19, 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And you got Scottie D, the founding member of AARP.
But I didn't like it when I was young either. So there you go.
Oh, so it's okay. So this is got you. This is not a hey, get off my damn lawn.
I never liked it.
Get off my damn lawn moment. Got you. All right, and we want to give a shout out to Uncle Max for being the sole survivor, the lone participant in this week's Choices of the Voices segment. Scottie D, what is the question for next week's Choices of the Voices segment?
All right, we're going to bring you guys back into the NFL next week and ask you, who is the most dominant defensive player you've ever seen in the NFL?
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Yeah, next week's question, the most dominant defensive player that you've ever seen in your life. I got quite a few. I'm going to try to narrow it down to a top three.
Yeah,
so
give us three. That's good.
Voices.
We'll do that. Give us three. Give us your
three.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay, give us three. All right, so so give us three in no particular order. Just give us three, and we will make it do what it do. All right, they're giving me the go home cue, so you know what that means, fellas. It's time for another edition of Pepper. We take three stories, we expound upon them a little bit, we talk about them, and we just throw the ball around and be coordinated enough not to knock each other the hell out. All right, and I'll go first, and I'll be honest with you, listeners. Side note. I just submitted my final assignment as a college student at 4:45 this morning. I said to myself, you know what? I want to be able to get up, do this podcast, and not have to worry about nothing. Fellas, I don't know what the hell to do because after we record this podcast, I ain't got nothing to do. I would cut grass, but it's rain outside, so I'm not going to be outside. You know what? I'm going to deservedly chill after 4 years. So shout out to you.
You deserve it.
Get back on. Eddie. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Putting the Amtraks back on the track. My first pepper point goes out to Kyle Juszczyk of the San Francisco 49ers. He did something real funny Sunday. He literally was catching a pass, running, advancing football. Now keep in mind, Kyle Juszczyk he doubles as a what would you call him, an H-back, tight end slash fullback,
something like that. Yeah,
big old boy. So, anyways, Kyle Juszczyk just took Micah Fitzpatrick, the newly acquired Micah Fitzpatrick from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and choke slam him. No, he didn't choke slam him. He tossed him. No, be live. I'm going to take it back Orikani style. He took Micah Fitzpatrick and he slung
him. Yeah.
He slung him. Now, Kyle Juszczyk, like I said, he's a pretty sizable dude. And that's a lot of man to bring down. And then here you come, all Micah of your Fitzpatrick. And next thing you know, you're looking at Kyle Juszczyk. Next thing you know, your head starts spinning and you're looking at the grass.
I just want to make sure, Micah Fitzpatrick, didn't he come from the Dolphins?
He did.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he came from the Dolphins. And that was a case of the Get off of me.
Me. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's so disrespectful. My Lord. All right.
Yep. Yep. But to his credit, Minka Fitzpatrick did make up, and he did get an interception in the Steelers' debut. So it wasn't that bad, but it was funny as hell. Over you, Scottie D.
All right. This might be the last time I talk about them this year, but my Pittsburgh Pirates. Last weekend, they were swept by the Cubs 17-8, 14-1, 16-6. They followed that up by getting swept at home by the Mariners, who were the worst team in the American League. And this past weekend, they got swept by the Brewers 10-1, 10-1, and 4-3. It's a miserable season, and for the Pirates, the brightest spot of the season, the brightest player on the team was Felipe Vasquez, who last week got arrested on child pornography and admitted to having sexual relations with a 13-year-old. Oh, man, the bad season went to worse in Pittsburgh, and if they don't clean up this mess, Vasquez is, for all intents and purposes, a pariah at this point. He'll probably never pitch in major leagues again if he ever gets out of jail. And it's time for things to change in Pittsburgh with the whole organization. That, my friends, is what you call a bad week. Be Live, over to you.
Ooh.
So what episode was it that I said that the Pirates might be able to right this ship?
Yeah, that was a little while back.
That was shortly after during the All-Star break. We were trying to be optimistic, but then something happened and they just put the ship in the
misery.
So I was wrong.
Yeah.
I think they were like 3-4 games back at that point, but God, yeah. I apologize to you, sir. And speaking on teams that I was correct about, though, my beloved Atlanta Bravos, the Braves. Back-to-back NL East champions. Man, oh man, chop on, baby. Gotta love it. And the thing about this, yes. I know this is not a visual show. This is all radio, audio. But yes, I am chopping. Yes. And to the MLB Network radio show, and I think it was like 15 analysts, 15, 16, somewhere around there, and none of them picked my Braves to make it to the playoffs, wild card, division champions, none of that. Not one of them picked it. Shame on all of y'all. You should all be fired and should be replaced by the bros of the Sports Bros podcast.
Hear.
Yes.
Hear. I'm all about that.
All y'all were wrong. Eddie Cool, have at it.
All right, and my second pepper point goes to the disgruntled, don't know, I want to stay, I want to go, I don't know, I feel like it. Cornerback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey. As you noticed last week, him and Doug Marrone got into it, and he's like, you know what, I want to get the hell up out of here. But the asking price is a little steep. I guess they want a couple first-rounders and a 5-piece white, small fries, and a Coca-Cola from Popeye's Chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeye's. Oh.
Plug. A bubble cooler cup. A can of air. You get what I'm saying? They want everything and then some. Well, I guess winning kind of cures all ails because they did win big against the division rival Tennessee Titans last week. But Jalen Ramsey, as of today, he said, you know what? I'm not practicing because I don't feel good. I call it sick. Apparently, or allegedly, he has come down with a case of the flu. Well, Jalen Ramsey, what you gonna do, player? You gonna milk a mildew. And remember, Michael Jordan played a game and he had the flu.
Yeah. I wish somebody at my job would try to pull some mess like that. I know they're upset, and then next day they gonna call in sick. Your ass is fired. I'm gonna remind Vince McMahon to come out. You're fired. But
Oh yeah, speaking of wrestling, a quick little note. The name of the AEW Wednesday night show will be called AEW Wrestling Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Kid Dynamite. All right.
Dynamite. All right, who's next?
Scottie D, I do believe.
Okay. All right, Scottie D, you're next.
All right, here's my second point. Off the top of your heads, guys, you know who Ramon Laureano, Chad Pender, and Sean Murphy are? You know who those are?
Baseball players.
They are the Oakland A's, who are now 94-62 as of this recording. I have watched these guys play a handful of games over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm going to tell you, these boys are for real. They had a bullpen, actually, this year that blew like 30 saves. Now, you take half of those away, and they're right there with the Astros competing with 102 games, 100-game win season. What I'm telling you, the reason I'm telling you this is because they currently have a 2-game lead in the wild card over both the Rays and Indians. But if they can manage to get by that game, don't be surprised to see the Oakland A's make some noise this year in the postseason. We're coming down to it, guys. Final week of the baseball season. Be Live, over to you.
All right. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and go to basketball. And the abysmal showing by the USA national team and the FIBA World Championships, etc.
Yuck.
Placing 7th.
Ugh.
But I understand because our young players are all a bunch of divas, and they don't think that the FIBA World Cup is worth anything to play for. So we didn't really have anybody playing. Like, we were down to our, like, I can name 2 players on that team. The Boston Celtics, because it was pretty much the Boston Celtics, and Donovan Mitchell. Because it was Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and then there are other players I have no idea about. So there's no sense of USA national love. It sucks. But here he comes to save the day.
Oh, boy.
Steph Curry puts his name in the hat. He says he will play for the US of A in the 2020 Olympics. So watch out, world.
Watch out, world.
Oh,
we coming for you.
There goes that man. Chef Curry in the kitchen, wrist twisted like a stir fry.
Stir fry.
Get it. Eddie Cool, have at it, bruh.
All right. My third and final pepper point goes out to a guy that I call in the fantasy football world the PPR god himself, none other than running back, or do-all, as I like to call him, from the New England Patriots, James White. Now, when I woke up and looked on my phone this morning, Sunday morning, I saw to myself, James White was going to miss the game. And I was like, well, he was good all week. And it says, okay, he's been ruled out for the game. He's not hurt. No. As we said earlier here at the Sports Bros podcast, as we mentioned about the kids being waved at the in Iowa, it's more than likely sports. So James White said, you know what, coach? I'm out. You want to know why he was out? He is currently by his wife's side as they're getting ready to welcome a child into the world. Yep, he missed the game to welcome his child in the world. James White, I ain't mad at you, young man. Do your thing. Be a great father to your child. It's a great bonding moment. And this just goes to show there's other priorities in life that are more important than running a stinking football and winning Super Bowl championships. So shout out to James White, who gets my Bro of the Week award. Over to you, Scottie D.
Yeah, but they were playing the Jets.
Yeah.
It'd have been there if they were playing the Chiefs, boy, I'm going to tell you. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Kudos to James White. Early in our broadcast history here, I picked the Houston Astros to win the World Series against the Milwaukee Brewers. And then I changed my tune a few weeks back because it looked to me like the Brewers were heading south, And then Christian Yelich got hurt. And then I
Ooh.
thought the Cubs were going to do it. Well, the Cubs got swept by the Cardinals this weekend, and the Brewers stepped on the gas. They are now right back in the mix, and it looks like it's going to be a wild card situation between the Brewers and Nationals. So I'm still alive on the Brewers and Astros pick, but what happened Chicago, man? I know we got a week left in the season, but that's going to be too much ground to make up for Chicago in this last week. So did I mention that baseball season's down to its final week and the playoffs are coming up? I'm excited for this, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll be talking a little bit more baseball in the next probably upcoming episodes. Be Live, over to you, buddy.
Oh, man. I get to finish this off. And, yes, baseball is a beautiful thing. But I love football. Love it so much. I want to give a quick shout-out to Sean McKenna at the Sound Up Now Studios and for the work that he's done with us. And also for including us, the Sports Bros podcast, in his fantasy football league. So we have our own fantasy football league that we got going on each week. But we are also, as a unit, have a fantasy football team in the I believe it's called the Charleston versus Myrtle Beach League, something like that.
Yep.
That I believe Sean is running. And I want to take a moment and apologize to Mr. Thomas Newsy from Michael's Pizza because, the Sports Bros podcast came into play this week. And I believe it's a standard ESPN scoring format where we scored 206.2 points to his 97.8. More than doubled his squad. We got 46.3 points from Russell Wilson, 43.6 points from Keenan Allen, 24.6 from Austin Hooper, 29 points from Philip Lindsay. We actually only got 7.7 points from Saquon Barkley, and he actually got hurt that game. Get well soon. But, I mean, I have never seen this in the history of standard fantasy football formats of an ass whooping this big. Sorry, Tommy boy. But, yeah, I mean –
we are good. We're doing really
we are good. Yeah, we are
and
good.
then also shout out to Smooth J.R. Speaks for being throttled in our league by your boy, the Almighty Be Live. Because I mean, I'm not playing around anymore. I'm coming to claim the throne, and you just happen to be my next victim.
Oh boy, here we go. Scottie D, we had a close one last week, but then the bottom fell out.
Did I win that one?
Yeah, you won. You won. You won.
I thought
let me
so,
remind
but
you,
I
won.
couldn't remember because this week I was laboring over the fact that I forgot to pull Antonio Brown out of my lineup.
Oh
no! Wait!
I wasn't paying attention. I forgot that I thought I had already done that, and I looked last night and I got a big 0 for Antonio Brown. So,
oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I got to pull my team together. We are currently sitting at 0-3.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I gotta pull it together, man. I gotta figure it out. But across the other leagues, I'm doing pretty good. It's just this damn league is like it's bad. It's just bad. All right. With that being said, that was a round of pepper and a brief fantasy football update. We've come to the end of episode 28. 28. Yes, we are at the end of this episode. And as always, we want to let you know how you can get in contact with us. Be Live. Other than St. Louis, where can they reach you?
You just stole it from me. All right. Well, you can find me, your boy, the Almighty Be Live. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter both as THSBEYABOYBLIV to the E. Just be your boy, Be Live, no I at the beginning. You can find us, the Sports Bros Podcast, on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram is Sports Bros Podcast. On Twitter is Sports Bros PCast. You can hit us up on email, sportsbrospcast@gmail.com. You can also check out our Facebook like page. And to the general public, we do apologize for not having any videos this week. We took a week off. It's been a lot. Eddie Cool's been finishing up school. Scottie D has been signed up for Social Security. And then I'm
Denied again.
Denied again.
They say I make too much money. And I've been pulling double duty at work, but help is on the way. So a quick shout out to our newest manager at Max, Gianna. She has joined our team, so I won't be working nearly as much. Instead of 70 hours now, it'll be 55. So I'll be returning to you with what happened Wednesdays. I had to give a little extra pause because it's been a couple of weeks. But yeah, check us out on our Facebook Live page. I'm going to get up on YouTube as well. Sports Bros Podcast on YouTube. I'm going to get some more videos uploaded there. Just giving you more entertainment value. We are the Sports Bros. We're going to keep it going. We've got memes coming out as well. What happened memes. We're doing it all. We're about to take over the world.
Didn't you have a hot friend that needed some votes from us for something?
Yes, absolutely. Quick shout out to Leanne Ottaway. I believe her Instagram is LAOTTOWAY32. I do believe there might be an underscore in there, but yeah, check her out. She is going to be the newest Maxim cover girl. She's killing the game. Absolutely wonderful on the eyes.
Yeah, I voted for her.
Absolutely. So definitely she is a supporter of the Sports Bros podcast. I want to give her a shout out and on her way to getting the votes needed for her to be the next Maxim cover girl of 2019. Love you, girl. Keep doing what you do.
All right, Leanne, don't you forget about us now. Scottie D, where can they reach you?
Hopefully hanging with the Ottaway girl, man. I saw a picture. She's hot.
Jesus.
There we go.
Just check me out on Facebook, Scott Donnelly, Donnelly, and you can catch me at the Social Security office. That's all I have to say, boys.
Oh, man, this is great. Anyways, I'm the H.O.C, Eddie Cool, the head of creative here at the Sports Bros podcast. And guess what? With me not having to labor at school, the videos will be coming back. They will be coming back. I don't know if it's either going to be 3 Things Thursday or Tranquilo Thursday, but for the past few weeks, I got something brewing in my head. It's sports related, and it'll be very, very entertaining. So be on the lookout for that soon. Snapchat, Super Cool 5000, if you're in that kind of thing. Instagram, Cool Season, all one word. I'm also on the Sports Bros podcast, other social media platforms and formats such as WordPress. Got to get back on that as well, too. Now they got some time. Instagram, the Sports Bros podcast account there. And also Twitter, the Sports Bros PCast, and the YouTube channel as well, too. So you can find me worldwide. Don't be surprised if I show up to your door with a DoorDash bag as well, too, because I DoorDash on the side, too. But, hey, man, got to have some extra money, man. Got to fund your dream somehow, some way. But that's how you can find me, the H.O.C, up in this thing at the Sports Bros podcast. Fellas, I'm just happy that I ain't got to worry about no more damn schoolwork. I don't know what I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
I'm excited for you. And look out, world, and look out, West Coast. The Sports Bros are headed to the West Coast in 3 weeks, baby. Man, oh man, yep. I am super excited about that, to watch my boy, the H.O.C, the head of creative, Eddie Cool, walk across the stage, cap and gown. I'm proud of you, man. I'm absolutely proud of you.
Thanks, fellas. I greatly appreciate it, man. It's been a long, long road, and this past year and a half has been nuts, but I pulled through, fellas. I pulled through.
Big up, Eddie Cool.
Hey, I made a promise to mama, and I fulfilled that thing, too.
No doubt, man.
All right. And with that being said, that wraps up another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, episode 28. Thank you, as always, for listening, supporting us, loving us. We're open to any comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything that you want us to hear, want to tell us, let us know. You know how to reach us, and let us know. We'll even put you on the show, give you a shout out. Do like JR did. He dropped a little voice message to the voicemail box. They say no boom. He wound up on the show battling B Live about who's going to have a better record between the Eagles and the Panthers, and B Live might be getting him some easy money at season's end.
Right now they're both 1-2, so they're both 1-2. But I think the Panthers are on the way up. Kyle Allen, dude, I don't know. We might have a quarterback controversy. We might. I'm saying you look good. You look good.
Yep, between Kyle Allen and Whitney Houston from the Bodyguards. Nevertheless.
Oh, not you too. Scottie D had way too much fun with those pictures. Way too much fun. God bless him.
Hey. Also know that you can find funny memes on the Sports Bros Podcast Facebook like page as well, too. And with that being said, thank you for listening to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. And then in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. This has been the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Bye.